Excited to talk to you about LinkedIn.
I love LinkedIn, Sandra.
Do you? So, as a career coach, how are you seeing LinkedIn being used?
So can I tell a story real quick?
Yeah, start with a story.
Because I was thinking about LinkedIn and I was thinking about its evolution for me and how I use it. So I got on LinkedIn in 2009, I think. And I was pretty much using it as my online resume, right? Also, I was using it to connect with people I already worked with. And I don't know if you remember this advice way back in the day, but LinkedIn used to say that you shouldn't accept connection requests from anybody that you didn't already know, which is
I mean, I'm not
hysterical.
supposed to still be doing that?
That's correct. You're allowed to connect with anybody that you'd like now. Don't tell the others, okay?
Okay.
All right. So I used it then to connect with people. And I used it then to read a little bit about industry news because mainly that's the kind of content people were posting back in those days. And then when I started really investing in myself as a leader, when I was still at corporate America, I would use LinkedIn to find opportunities. And then I'd encourage my team members to get on LinkedIn so that they could find opportunities or so they could research what they were working on or so that they could find industry news related around their vertical, whatever it was that they were working on at the time. And then when I left corporate America, I wasn't exactly sure how I should be using LinkedIn. But then I found, oh, LinkedIn's really a great platform for learning. So in addition to LinkedIn Learning, which we could have its own whole episode about, I used it to start connecting broader and wider with people that I didn't really know that well, people that I wanted to know. And then I kept connections fresh with people I already knew. And then when I opened my own business after making that decision, then I started using it differently even again. So I think that people don't know exactly that LinkedIn can be all these different things to them because they're only looking at it from the seat that they're sitting in right now.
Oh, that's so perceptive. Yes.
So it really is, I think, a visibility platform. And then you can decide what visibility means for you, right? Are you a job seeker and visibility means that you're looking for a new opportunity? Are you trying to navigate your own corporate ladder at your current role and you want to use it to network in-house? Are you starting a business and you want to share your ideas? Are you trying to be a thought leader and get your message out wider and far? Then LinkedIn can also be the place for that. And what I like about LinkedIn as a platform is that it's tied to your real name. You don't have to have some cutesy tootsy username, right? You don't have to be like, oh, I'm so and so on this platform. You can just say you can find me on LinkedIn, and then people know to go search your first and last name on LinkedIn.
So you don't have to be dangerous rebel on Discord.
You don't. Is that what you are on Discord? You're not dangerous rebel on Discord, are you? Oh, okay. I love it. Perfect.
Um, I think that you're raising a good point about that uses change it. As we start to use tools, how we use them and why we use them definitely does change.
Correct. And as the platforms evolve, so do our usage. Think about us, Sandra, and this conversation that we started having, which ultimately became this podcast, just started out because LinkedIn created a live feature. And we're like, yeah, let's go live on LinkedIn. We didn't know what that meant. But then it also was an extremely powerful tool. And it increased our visibility, helped us reach more people and get them thinking about their workplace and how they navigate it.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think people should do on LinkedIn that they're not currently doing from where you're sitting as your role.
Yeah. As a master professional career coach, I think people need to be on LinkedIn, no matter what their industry, role, job title is. I think you need to be there because LinkedIn is one of those platforms where people will go to vet you, right? So they'll say, oh, I'm interviewing with this person. I want to go check them out on LinkedIn. I'm meeting this person for coffee. I should make sure that I know exactly what they look like. I'm going to check out their profile picture. So it is constantly seen as the standard where people can go check you out. So you need to be there. And I think you need to be there with a good, I call it your billboard, right? So when you pop onto somebody's LinkedIn profile, you see their headshot, you see their background banner, their title, their name, their location. I think that needs to be the most spectacular part of your LinkedIn profile. And I think it needs to be current. And I want you to pay special attention to it. And I want you to revise it every now and again. Don't do it once now and then not touch it for 10 years. That's not going to serve you. I want you to finesse it, adjust it, and keep honing in on it as you grow and as you change and as you evolve.
It's so interesting because I don't usually pay a lot of attention to my profile banner.
Do you pay attention to other people's profile banners?
That's a good question. You know what I pay attention to is their headshot.
I love that. What usually strikes you about somebody's headshot on LinkedIn?
Don't like headshots that are clearly other people in the photo and
This
they've
is
trussed
the
them
bane
off.
of it's the bane of my existence. I don't want to see your weird third cousin's hand on your shoulder
Yeah, exactly.
in your
And
LinkedIn profile picture. So please, can we use technology to the fullest? Can you do a good prompt on your favorite AI tool and have them take that picture that you love of yourself so much that you just crop out your cousin's hand very poorly? And can you have AI take it out for you so that you can still look like yourself, but not with weird shoulder, hand, whatever that is?
yeah, the other thing that there's a lot of debate around, I see a lot of my photographer friends posting about whether it's appropriate on LinkedIn to have an AI photo at all.
I guess I would pose to our photography friends if any of the headshots they produce, they actually apply a filter or Photoshop it all.
Interesting.
Now, I would not have said this about 5 years ago. The quality of the AI image generators then is not what it is now. And now, with a really strong prompt, you can get a really good image and you can finesse a current image you have, like to put on a different outfit or to change the color of the blazer that you have on in the image already, or to put a different color, quote unquote, lipstick on. So I've been using this one headshot and it is AI enhanced. Let's say that it is truly an image of me. It's a selfie I took. And it was a particularly good hair day. And I wished I was wearing something different because it was very casual and I wanted it to look a little bit more formal. So I asked ChatGPT to put me in a blazer and it did.
Interesting. I think the other interesting part about images that I look at is, not just is it somebody's, was it clearly that there was somebody else in the video
Mm.
and or in the picture and they cut that person out, but also, is it a current picture of them?
Yes.
I've started since the pandemic. I've stopped my hair, right? So when I see photos of myself when I used to color my hair, I think, wow, that's not a really dated image of me.
And so what is on your profile now?
A current photo that was taken by a professional photographer.
Yes. And it looks gorgeous, by the
Awesome.
way.
Thank you.
So, Sandra, I am a fan of real photography, real imagery. I do think that if you are an entrepreneur or a leader, that it's worth the investment in a headshot. You could go to a headshot event and get a really good headshot. You can invest with your favorite photographer when they're offering a promotion. One of our good friends, Katie, had a Mother's Day promotion going on. There's times of years when it's a really good investment to do a headshot, and you deserve it, and it's something you'll use all the time. And I also think it can be true at the same time that if investing in a headshot is a barrier to you having a good high quality photo, then the next best thing is to do an AI enhanced image and put it up there and have a good quality photo of you that looks like you currently and isn't something from 10 years back.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's not let it be a barrier, and let's not make perfect the enemy of the good and put a picture up there, because that's the worst thing. When I see those gray bubbles and those gray boxes and I'm trying to vet someone on LinkedIn, right away I stick them in the no pile because I can't see you. I can't give you that virtual eye contact, and then I don't know who you are. The other thing is, you could have a photo up there, but because you have a setting set up wrong, only people that are already connected to you can see the photo.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I need you to make sure that if you're on LinkedIn and you want to be found, that you have the settings in your favor so that you can be found.
I think the other important part is that people should use a photo that is like shoulders and head, because some people I know use photos that are more longer focus, and then you can't see them.
I love this point. So, go ahead and upload the further away, the longer focus photo, and then zoom in on it. As long as it doesn't degrade the quality, there's actually tools in the LinkedIn image uploader where you can zoom in, you can straighten it out. If not, stick it in your free Canva account and enhance it there, take out the background or zoom it in and enhance it. Because Canva has some AI tools as well that can help you enhance your image and make it really LinkedIn ready.
Like you said, this day and age, there's no reason not to have a very reasonable photo of yourself.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just do it.
And then what else do you tell your folks?
Yeah, when I'm working with job seekers, I want to make sure that the image has them looking professional. So, wearing something that is at least business casual. I want a smile and I want them looking straight ahead. So, none of the like side shoulder. I'm thinking, yeah, none of the cutesy photography things that they used to do when we were getting our school photos taken, right? It's a very straightforward headshot. Yes, and not over your shoulder. Have it be professional. So that's what I'll say. And then having a complete billboard or first impression. So when I pull up your account, either on my mobile device, because about 80 something percent of all LinkedIn users use it on their mobile device.
Oh, good to know.
So have it be complete, have it look good, have it be readable from your mobile device. Zoom in on your photo so that your face is 60 to 80% of that little bubble. Have a background banner. Again, it looks complete, even if it's just a design or a photo. Have your location show up. None of this United States. I want to know where you're based out of, because if I'm coming there because I'm thinking about working with you or I'm thinking about hiring you, I want to know where you're at.
So, Annette, I love what you talked about with respect to image and getting your headshot straight. I'm wondering what other areas of LinkedIn we need to be aware of and leveraging, regardless of whether we're a job seeker or an entrepreneur or business person.
Yeah. Sandra, you really want to apply the things that you know about search engine optimization to your LinkedIn profile. Because when people are searching on LinkedIn, they can search by multiple different factors. If you're a job seeker and your company has you using LinkedIn Recruiter to find the best candidates, then there's tools that can tweak and find the skills, the talents of the job seeker through their LinkedIn profile. So, some of the most important sections are location, especially for job seekers, especially for business owners, right? And I subscribe to choosing the larger metropolitan area for your location and not just your individual city, right? So if you use, for example, I'm thinking like Brecksville, 44141 is Brecksville, Ohio's code, right? You can choose that as your location, and then it's very specific, Brecksville. So if you're a job seeker and somebody maybe from the east side sees that, and they'd be like, ooh, I'm going to just think that they don't want to drive to Mentor from Brecksville. You could eliminate yourself from
Right.
opportunities, right? Because somebody's making a judgment or they're making a thought about you based on their own willingness to drive in from a certain location. So instead of being from Brecksville and saying you're from Brecksville, if you hit the drop down where the zip code field is,
Yeah.
also get a choice that says Greater Cleveland.
Oh, I see. Yes.
And then Greater Cleveland really means Northeast Ohio. So you could be east side, west side, south side, and it's going to pull you in to
And I
greater,
guess that also applies if you're a business owner
right?
and especially if you can do and provide your services over Zoom,
Yeah,
right? Because people might exclude you if they're thinking, oh, I don't want to drive all the way to Mentor. Oh, but we can just jump on a Zoom call and talk about what it is that I need, and then we can do the rest of it some other way.
absolutely. Absolutely. So don't, people think being more specific about location is good. And in this case, I want you to draw from a larger area of opportunity by not being so specific. And then if somebody comes to you and presents you with an opportunity and you're in Brecksville, for example, and they say, hey, I need you to come to Lorain County for this on-site opportunity, then you make the choice of saying yes or no. You don't let somebody make that choice for you.
Yeah, because maybe you have an aunt that lives out there and you can stay with the aunt during the week instead of driving all the way out.
Or maybe it's a hybrid opportunity. So for 2 or 3 days a week, you're willing to drive out and then come back. Maybe it's non-traditional hours. Maybe it's a sales opportunity and you're going to be on the road a lot. And so it won't matter where the
So,
office is.
yeah, so location is a great one. Are there other areas that we need to make sure that we're leveraging?
Absolutely. Leverage your about section.
Ooh,
And the about section, trust me, Sandra, you have 9 million characters. Not really that many. You have like,
that's good because I am very verbose and 9 million characters might not be enough for me.
you actually have, I think it's 2,600 characters to talk about yourself, but I don't think you need that much. I think a well written section, about section is great. So take the time to refine what you say about yourself. If you're a job seeker, you can really get away with 4, 5, 6 sentences, a really strong paragraph. If you're an entrepreneur, you may have more to say because you're talking about your services and what you offer. But think of it as a really tight professional career summary, and that's what can go in there. A couple of tips for your about section. It's less formal than a resume. It's less formal than a bio. Use Talk about yourself in first person, first of all, and then get in those keywords that people might be looking for. So I
Mm.
think you and I have talked about this before, Sandra, because you are a certified life coach, but you're not only a certified life coach. Right. So when you talk about yourself, how do you talk about yourself as a professional?
A trauma informed leadership coach
Ooh, I love this.
for women.
For women. Okay. So very specific search string there.
Yeah, and I always wonder, is that too much niching?
That's a good question. What happens when you talk about yourself without that very specific niching?
I'm not sure.
Do people have trouble understanding you?
Sometimes I feel like life coach in particular gets a little diluted And I find sometimes if I say trauma informed, sometimes that in and of itself can confuse people because they're not really sure what that means relative to just straight leadership coaching.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, I'm still trying to figure out what's the right set of words that really speak to the people that I'm there to support and help.
Okay. I understand this problem. So what you would want to do is your headline could be more expansive. Maybe you could talk about yourself as a leadership coach for women
Mm,
in your headline. That would be a really easy way to find you. And then in your about section, you could talk about your approach, which
mm,
is that you're trauma informed. You could talk a little bit about your mission, vision, values there so that people can understand what makes you different from the other XYZ life coach or leadership coach I'm considering. And
right.
you can have more detail there.
So I always struggle when people say you can be less formal. When you say you can be less formal in your about section on LinkedIn, what do you really mean?
You can talk about yourself in first person. So, you know how a biography or a bio that you turn in for that somebody reads when you walk up on stage is very formal. Refers to you in third person, very non-creative writing, right? And now in your about section, you're talking about yourself. I see some about sections that are very formal. Maybe it's a CEO of a multinational corporation, and it may say Mr. or Ms. So and so, blah, 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 blah. But I've written my about section and I talk about me with first person. So that's what I mean. And then I also mean that you can use real words and it's not very formulaic. So it's
Mm,
really up to you what you speak about.
got it. One of the things that I love most about your about is caffeine.
Caffeine powered.
Yes,
Is that still in my about?
dog mama. I love that. Caffeine powered dog mama. I love
I
it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's still in there, Sandra.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm giving away stuff.
No, I love that.
And one of the reasons that I love that, and I was wondering if this is what you meant by being more informal, people to see who you are as a person, your humor or your voice comes through, not just your credentials.
Yeah. And that really depends on does understanding that I'm a caffeine fueled dog mom help people find me? Do they think it's interesting? Is it just like a nod? Oh, dog mom, I'm a cat person. I can't work with her.
Right.
Does it separate us or does it bring us together?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But the fact that you love caffeine, like you had me at caffeine.
I had you at caffeine. I had you at espresso, didn't I?
Yes, you did. So one of the things that I know you and I usually talk about is I'm not a big fan of social media, but LinkedIn in particular is the one social media platform that I have stayed current with and really tried to leverage it to grow my network. And I know you like LinkedIn a lot too. What makes it different?
I like LinkedIn because it's tied to real people. So Instagram, TikTok, I always feel like, is there really someone behind that account? Or is it a bot? Or is it a scam? I'm never quite sure. And the content is often on those other platforms doesn't really belong to that person, right? It's recycled, it's reposted. And LinkedIn feels more authentic. You can see that people are verified, and there's just a handful of ways that LinkedIn verifies profiles. And I like that what appears to be accountability to me. Not saying that I haven't heard horror stories of people losing their account or being identified wrongly as a bot, but overall, I like that it's tied to a real person and they can be verified.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's one of the pieces I love about it. Why do you think you've stayed on LinkedIn over the other platforms?
I think that for me, the other platforms feel like there's too much of the divisive discord, and not that it's not there on LinkedIn,
Right.
but I think that for the audience that I'm looking to reach, which is professional leaders, there's much more awareness of what my personal opinion is versus, say, my corporate positioning is. And so people are a little more careful about how they structure their content or what they choose to share and repost. And so I find it less provocative.
Okay. Less provocative, more educational?
Yes, oftentimes more educational, and I would say more conversational too.
Yeah.
Not that we can't get into debates on not that we can't get into debate on LinkedIn, and people do. They certainly get back and forth
Yeah.
on hot topics, but I think it's also more grounded in context. There's more, here's the article, here's the information, here are the facts, much less mudslinging.
Yes. Less feelings,
Yes,
more data driven decisions, more back it up.
yes.
Yeah. I like LinkedIn as a learning platform as well as a social platform. I don't know how social it really is, except that you can make connections and you can find other people that connected. I could find you and say, "Oh, Sandra, I see you know somebody at such and such an organization. I've been trying to talk to them forever. Could you introduce me?" So
Mm,
the networking piece, I guess, in a way, does make it social, more social than it has been before. And also, there's the piece of we're all putting our professional best forward, and hopefully, it's not degrading us down to, I don't like you because your hair's pink kind of thing. Yeah,
yes.
not a personal characteristic. So I think that's a good way to think about it. The other reason that I like LinkedIn is that it's easy to be seen. There's billions of users worldwide. There's 256 million users alone in the US, but there's not very many people that post. Now, I saw somebody say today that only 1% of users post.
Wow.
Seen previously that it was like 3 to 4%. I don't know what that number really is right now, but I find that if you're using it because you want to share your personality, your platform, your ideas, your movement, that it's really a good place to do that and get attention. Oh,
When you're posting like that, is it I know in Instagram, using hashtags is so important because you get, seen. Is that as important in LinkedIn? Because I see some people using hashtags, I see other people not using hashtags. I'm never quite sure what the right protocol is.
LinkedIn was big into hashtags, huge into hashtags, and then they abandoned it
Oh,
late
interesting.
2024. So you can still use them on your platform, but it no longer connects to, you can't follow the hashtags anymore. So that
Mm,
feed is full with them. Instead, you'll want to use more keyword optimization. Think about writing a blog to be found on Google or to be found by some of the large language models. Your keywords is what will get you found if somebody's not already connected to you. And the best way to get your message out on LinkedIn is to have something that's thought provoking and engaging so that people comment. And that's the biggest way to get it to blow up. And maybe taking us just a step back, the other reason I like LinkedIn is most of the messaging is positive, and positive as in it doesn't degrade into a fight like you were talking about. So, because of that, the messages that I find that I post that are most engaging and get the most attention are messages that are positive. When I share something about an accomplishment, those seem to get the most attention. So, and I see that with other platforms that people have built. I see that with job congratulations. Hey, I got a new job. Yay. You see all these comments and all these likes because people are so proud and so happy to engage in positive discourse about something that's happening really good for someone they know.
that's awesome. Yeah. Is there anything that we shouldn't do on LinkedIn? Is there something that would hurt my LinkedIn profile or my LinkedIn reach?
One big thing that's going to hurt your LinkedIn profile is if you leave it there and it's stale. Don't let it get stale. Revise it now and again. Update your skills, update your keywords as you evolve your LinkedIn profile. Change your profile picture if you get a new headshot, or maybe you take a really great selfie one day. Go ahead and update that. So, not using it, letting it go stale is bad for business on LinkedIn. Thinking that it's only for professional stuff, like
Mhm.
resume kind of stuff, boring. You should definitely use it to engage and connect. And then I guess the other thing that's bad for it is if you use it to not do good. So, right,
Oh,
if you are being negative, if you are tearing other people down, if you are, and listen, this is my phrase. I'm just going to regurgitate it though for you right here. If you're pitch slapping somebody, right? And this is the practice on LinkedIn. Have you heard of that phrase?
no.
Where as soon as you get connected to someone, you're in their direct messages and you're just pitching them. Hey,
Mm.
I have 3 things, blah, 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 blah. Hey, do you need a VA? Hey, do you need this? Ugh, it's so annoying. Now, do I accept connections? Yes, I do. I do accept connections. I don't know if you do. And so sometimes that's the direct impact of accepting a connection of somebody that really I don't know that many people in common with. But then I just mute them and they're pitching away in my messages and I'm just ignoring.
So that's so interesting because I always, when I get a connection request,
Mhm.
go and look at who the person is. I look at who they're connected to.
Sure.
And I have learned that several of my friends are promiscuous connectors.
Are you talking about me, Sandra?
I'm not mentioning any names, but several of my friends are not just very discerning when it comes to accepting connection, and they're just promiscuously accepting everybody, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit more choosy and discerning when it comes to accepting requests." And it's very interesting. I particularly do not like people who send me a connection request and they're already pitching me in the connection request. So those are an automatic no. Although I have turned the tables on them a couple of times and said, look, if because sometimes the pitch is coming, but they
Yeah.
disguise it by saying, I'd really love to network with you. Sure. Why don't you tell me why you love doing what you do? And let's get to know each other. It's amazing the number of people who don't respond to that because it really was about just pitching me something. So I'm always open to true connection requests. I'm always open to true networking. And I really am genuinely interested in why you love to do what you're doing. But I will very rarely just accept a connection request when it comes through, in part because I feel like when they're connected to me, that also opens up all of my connection network. And I don't know that everybody that I know is worthy of meeting everybody else I know. And why do I have Seinfeld skits running through my head now? The moment
Because
I
I
said
feel like
worthy.
we created promiscuous connectors. I think you just
Yes.
created a phrase that should be part of the LinkedIn lexicon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am not a promiscuous connector. You have to be worthy.
And I guess I have to admit that, hello, my name is Annette Garsteck, and I'm a promiscuous LinkedIn connector. Feels so good to say that out loud. Whew,
But you know what? I think there's certainly benefits to both, right?
definitely.
You have a ton of connections and we never know who those people are connected to. And when you post something, that opens it up to their network as well. And so people are seeing your posts in a way that they're not seeing mine simply because I'm being a little bit more guarded.
Sure.
Um, so yeah, there's certainly advantages and disadvantages to both approach.
Correct. And then the other thing that I love that you talked about is protecting your connections. And Sandra, you can do that with a simple setting. You can go ahead and say, mask my connections. So it will say Sandra has over 500 connections, but nobody can click on them and see who they are. So
Yes.
if you have a fairly big network, you can protect them that way. And by the nature of what I do as a career coach is many of my clients are like, nobody's going to see we're connected, right? So I like to protect my connections that way because many job seekers are not conducting an open public job search. It's usually
Yeah.
confidential or covert. Mhm.
Yeah. And I think that's the other aspect of what keeps LinkedIn a little bit less mudslinging because your employer can see what you're posting, right? They can see how you're responding. And those things tend to get back to HR and your corporate business, and they do reflect. And yeah,
Yeah.
much more, I think, than in other platforms.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And so let's keep that in mind. If you are employed in corporate America or you're employed in any job, government job, whatever, you should be thinking of that. You should be acting in accordance with your company's social media policy on LinkedIn, because if not, it's very traceable back to you and your company.
Yes.
There's
With
that accountability again.
with very I don't know what to say, how to say what I want to say. Something posted innocently, something posted in the heat of the moment, something posted without a lot of forethought can have ramifications that you never expected, and for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Last summer was a great example of not realizing how things were going to backlash. So, certain concerts.
Yes. I remember that now. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Annette, we have talked a lot about good ways to use LinkedIn, good things to keep to put in your profile. Next time, I would love for us to talk about maybe some trauma informed ways to leverage networking in a way that protects women.
I would love to talk about this with you. And I'm going to ask you to do most of the talking on that, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Sure. I think one of the things that social media opens up is a lot of gray area as it relates to women and how to post about what you're doing, when you're doing it, where you are, how to connect with you. I think those are all important topics. And I know that you will have lots of information for us on what we can do to ensure that we're protected.
I love that. I will definitely be prepared to chat all about that, Sandra.
Okay. All right.
And for anybody listening, if this is the kind of conversation that you wish you could have with your work bestie about how to use tools for your professional life, how to navigate career, how to navigate things that happen to you during your career, then Sandra and I welcome you to head over to exposingthehiddenreality.com and join our newsletter, and we send out really good insights, and we'll let you know when the next episode is posted.
Yay.
Sounds good. I'll see you next week.
See you next